Well, Rob, here we are in the sunshine. The squad has been selected. Everyone's here. How have these past few days gone?
It's been an emotional ride, I'm not going to lie. You know, we've pleased 26 players that can come and represent Wales in the Euros, but we've had to disappoint 4 or 5, which has been hard, you know, because they're a good group of players all together. But somebody has to be disappointed. That's the hardest part of the job. So it's been a roller coaster of emotions, but full focus now on the job in hand. We've got a tough game tomorrow against France. The preparation's gone well for it. So yeah, we're all set.
Of course, you're no stranger to selecting squads, but when you've got 4 or 5 really talented fringe players, those must have been really difficult conversations.
Yeah, because they're good lads as well. They're honest and really, really nice lads. And when you see it, honestly, when you see them all together, so we'd had that week in Portugal where they were great, and then knowing, you know, it's hard to sleep the night before, knowing that you're going to wake up and have to tell 4 or 5 lads that they have to part the group now. It's horrible. So, but part of the job, and like I said, the other 26 were sympathetic to that as well. They showed class, and when I made sure that the others were all right. And but now it's work, and we get on with it, and we've got the 26 and move forward.
We've seen the dreaded words diweddariad carfan already, with James Lawrence having to drop out due to his injury. What was the situation there?
Yeah, that was a difficult one as well. So, you know, we played a game, an 11v11 in Portugal before we flew back on the Saturday morning, and he just felt his calf slightly. He just thought he was tight. He got through the game fine, felt his calf tighten up at the end, and we've sent him for a scan, and it's no good. He's out for 3 weeks, so we couldn't take a gamble on it. Potentially we could have taken him and he would have missed the first 2 games and waited till the latter stages, but you know, we need players around us at the minute. Unfortunately, we've got, you know, 1 or 2 other defenders that are coming back from injury, and we don't know how that, we're not 100% guaranteed how that's going to go. The luxury of having those 26 players, so the 3 extra, has helped us take those, so we can delay their comeback a little bit. And so yeah, it was disappointing for James, but again, give an opportunity to Locks to come back into it, and you know, talk about my emotions over the last couple of days. Imagine when that lad went through to finding out he's not in the 26 and then being called back in within 12 hours. But he's been first class again, Locks.
I guess that sums up football for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Aaron Ramsey, what's the situation with him, and realistically, how much game time do you see him having over the next few weeks?
Well, again, we have to look at the players, you know, what they're playing domestically, how many minutes they've played, and we can't pick a team that's just going to throw them into France, one of the best teams in the world, or the best team in the world, and expect them to compete for 90 minutes of that intensity. You know, we'll as kamikaze, we'll run the risk of putting them out of the tournament, so we have to be sympathetic to that. And there's a plan in place for the minutes that they're going to get, because we have to focus on Switzerland. That's the most important game. There's no points on these 2 friendlies, so we're going to pick a team that will go out and compete, obviously, and work on aspects of the game that we think we need to work on. But we have to be conscious that players can't play for 90 minutes against teams like that without any repercussions, so we'll plan for that.
This week is the final dress rehearsal, if you like, before you fly out to Baku. How will you approach this week? Because it's been such a relentless season for a lot of these players. You want them to work hard, but I guess you also want them to relax a little bit.
Well, I think we got the balance right in Portugal, you know, so that was the idea behind Portugal. Because of COVID, we wanted to get them in that bubble straight away and control that. You know, we haven't got the luxury of having 40 players to pick from, so if somebody gets COVID, you know, oh well, we'll go and pick somebody else. So he was getting them in the bubble, and we got the balance right in Portugal. For the first couple of days, they were off their feet. The complex was fantastic, the training facilities, some of them just on gym sessions, and got them off the grass. The Premiership season finished on the Sunday, so it was important from a mental point of view to get them refreshed and just off their feet for a couple of days. And then the training on the Wednesday and Thursday was brilliant. So you know, I think we've got the balance right on that.
We spoke to a couple of the players yesterday, and you can see they're all just so happy to be here. You can sense sort of the good vibe that's around the place. That was key in 2016, and that will be key this year as well, won't it?
One thing I'll say about this group, when Chris was manager, I come in and shadowed him for a day or 2, and it blew me away. I could not believe the camaraderie that squad had together, and it's no surprises why they went on to be successful like they did. We've got it the same here, and that's credit to the senior players that have continued that through, the ones that were a part of that 2016 success, and the young lads that have been in the system. That's one thing we have created in the intermediate groups and the junior groups, is that it is all about togetherness. When you play for Wales, it's having that pride to play for your country and turn up on you with your mates. and it's no different at senior level. They're a first-class group and great to be around.
I know you've been asked probably 1,000,001 questions about Ruben Colwill. He's one of those youngsters.
Yeah.
He was probably the surprise package that we weren't expecting, but I guess for you it wasn't a surprise because you've obviously seen something pretty special in him.
I saw him play in the championship and I thought he played really, really well, and I liked what I saw. I brought him into that EFL camp. The benefits of having that 4-day training camp is, one, we top the championship players up that have had 10 days off. We don't want them going 2-3 weeks without getting any training in. So, and secondly, then we cherry pick some of the best younger players and get them in, expose them to playing with championship players and training, and the way he quitted himself was superb. Again, the luxury of having 26 players give us that luxury to be able to select the, one or two that would be a surprise, and I know Ruben would have been a surprise, but for me, for what he's got, he's 6'2", 6'3", athletic. He can play as a wide right, as a 10, as an 8 in midfield. So I think he's got a bright future in front of him, and it's important now how we manage that. Exposing him to people like Bailo and Aaron and watching them train every day and being part of that and joining in with them is going to, improve him as well. So that's all part of the thought process. You're
now officially the man in charge. You've got some ownership over the story of what happens this summer. Does that make your job easier, or does it make it harder, Rob?
Yeah. I mean, proud first and foremost, absolutely. To play for your country is a great honour. To manage it, wow, it's a special honour, and you've got the responsibility of the supporters. You want to do well because you want the supporters to be proud of all of you, and no different. So, yeah, a little bit more pressure, of course, because now the buck will stop with me, and yeah, I've got great staff behind me, and like I said, a great group of players, and I want us all to get together. It's difficult with COVID, but I want us all to be a part of it, however we can do that, if it's things like this with media, and I want the supporters to feel that they're a part of this moving forward in this journey.